Selected 1. At last, someone is willing to make any sacrifice for you. Reality is bending to make room for your long overdue ascent because the cosmic balances are shifting so strongly in your favor. The energy bonds that have been depleting your life force for too long are being severed by divine powers. As your fantasies awaited, you spent each restless night resolving their issues. All the money you donated while your debts remained unpaid. Every private emotional collapse you experienced after being the rock for everyone else. These weren't only good deeds. In spiritual realms where energy turns into money, these cosmic investments were accruing compound interest. To determine who was deserving of your light and who was just a parasite, the cosmos has been employing you as a distribution center. The test has now finished. Cosmic retribution has begun with the cataloging of the energy vampires. You're going to learn why your overindulgence in giving was really divine strategy masquerading as goodwill. You didn't know how advanced the extraction system was. Your time, money, and emotional energy were not the only things that were harvested. Their goals were self-worth, dreams, and confidence. Every time someone made you feel bad for needing anything. Every time you were accused of being selfish for anticipating simple reciprocity. Every time you believed that your worth was determined by your ability to contribute rather than your natural qualities. Do you recall the wording used in the requests? Making you feel unique while preparing you to accomplish their task is something I know you're really excellent at. The only one who truly gets it is you. Excluding you from other resources in order to make you their exclusive source of assistance. You created a false reliance that made you feel in charge of their welfare. I don't know what I'd do without you. The most pernicious aspect was how this was normalized, even made admirable, by persuading you that spiritual beings have no boundaries, that chosen ones are expected to be selfless, that your value was determined by how much suffering you could bear for others, that exploitation was reframed as enlightenment, and that you were thankful for the opportunity to be used. However, every infraction, every second, was being recorded by cosmic intelligence. Your lovely heart was tricked. Every time your kindness was used as a weapon against your own health. The system of spiritual courts has been constructing a strong case. Furthermore, universal law requires prompt and full reparation due to the overwhelming evidence. There was a reason behind the pattern. The methodical manner in which individuals sought your advice, depleted your resources, and then vanished when you needed help. This was done according to a plan that predates written history. Understanding your chosen nature allowed you to make thoughtful choices about how to use your abilities while maintaining your belief that expecting reciprocity was in some way self-serving or immoral. Every time someone said they would help you, they disappeared. The enormity of the violations of universal law at the time of the crisis necessitated cosmic intervention. Every second, knowledge poured from your mouth into ears that would turn against you. Debts that had been accruing interest in dimensions beyond physical perception were documented by the spiritual accounting system. The deception was clever as it was presented as spiritual instruction, persuading you that genuine selected people maintain their humility, that demanding equal treatment was materialistic, and that your worth was derived from giving rather than getting. You believed it to be enlightenment. And a prison was constructed out of praise for your giving nature. Those who professed to love you while eroding your self-esteem were afraid of your value, not unsure of it. Years were spent speaking falsehoods to keep the sleeping giant of limitless potential inside of you dormant, telling you that your aspirations were unattainable, your restrictions were permanent, and your problems were normal. The theft was planned and methodical. While doubtful seeds were sown, wisdom was reaped. They position themselves as experts on your life while covertly resenting every ability you have, absorbing your energy and reflecting back skewed pictures of your skills. But the cosmos is going to demonstrate what occurs when war is fought against those who have been chosen, and their time is up. That methodical gathering of your energy would ultimately lead to cosmic intervention of such a magnitude that access to selected ones worldwide would be permanently cut off was something that others never anticipated. It wasn't only personal misfortune that caused you to suffer. It was the last piece of proof required to turn on the universal security measures that would prevent you from ever being taken advantage of again. That connection that sprang up out of nowhere. After months of seeming steadiness, that bond suddenly fell apart. That wasn't haphazard devastation. Rather, it was deliberate demolition carried out by cosmic powers who understood what your good heart couldn't tolerate. You had been trained to tolerate, not to eradicate, what hurt you, so the cosmos physically collapsed what was contaminating your energy field. Removing toxic individuals from your life was only one aspect of the controlled deconstruction. It also involved destroying a whole energy extraction system that had been constructed around your giving personality. Every link that abruptly broke was a conduit that had been draining your vitality to feed others who gave nothing back. The universe didn't just take people away. The whole exploitation apparatus was destroyed. When some relationships ended, you experienced a peculiar mixture of loss and relief. You felt like you could finally breathe again, but you also missed the connection. It wasn't draining your energy all the time. Your phone wasn't ringing with requests that were actually demands. You didn't have to deal with other people's crises while your own needs were ignored. Loss was not the emptiness you felt. Detoxification was the process. Those who had been consuming your light for too long were leaving behind poisonous residues that your energy field was cleaning out. You required time to recuperate from the systematic depletion you had suffered while thinking it was love, friendship, or familial duty, much like a body recuperating from poison. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the Super Thanks button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but also the souls of many others through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's great design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Take action now. Share your blessings to exalt His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. The folks weren't just taken away by the cosmos. It eliminated the capability of remotely accessing your energy. At the quantum level, the unseen threads of duty, remorse, and emotional manipulation that held you together long after your physical separation had been cut. Because the structure was constructed on shaky ground from the start, it had to collapse. Anything that was built by exploiting your kindness was certain to fall apart spectacularly. Systems that feed spiritual parasites while depleting selected ones are not supported by the cosmos. Observers will be stunned by the surgical precision with which the equilibrium required by the principles of cosmic physics is being restored. Liberation, masquerading as destruction, was what appeared to be tragic loss. The apparent agonizing emptiness was actually the clearing of holy space to make place for an incredible abundance. There are no vacuums in the cosmos. Forces that have been organizing this effort over several time periods are effective in removing obstacles. Every time someone you trusted broke a commitment, it was evidence gathering. Each betrayal served as evidence for the cosmic legal case that was being constructed in your favor. Every instance of disappointment served as evidence that these relationships were intended for extraction rather than trade. These encounters weren't a punishment from the universe. For the restitution that is now being computed, indisputable proof was being gathered. Your chest feeling empty isn't a lifelong injury. It's growth. Your energy field is expanding to make room for the influx of resources that will soon arrive from sources you haven't yet considered. Your ascension was not intended for those who departed, since their presence would have tainted the pure frequency of what was about to happen. Not all the cleared space is still vacant. It's getting ready for something so great that it was necessary to get rid of all the previous connections to create place. There are no vacuums in the cosmos. To be ready for miraculous installations, which call for clean, uncontaminated energetic settings, precise surgical removals are carried out. The demolition is finished. They have cleared the foundation. Now is the time to start building your empire. Your former existence will appear to be a rough draft of grandeur that was always intended to be redone with cosmic power in light of what is now being constructed. Right now, someone is being sent to your precise locations with such accuracy that it appears that military activities are in disarray. This is neither spiritual imagination or optimistic thinking. Heavenly application of a resource created especially to raise you, carrying information that will permanently change the way you interact with power. Even before you took your first breath, the cosmos was getting ready for this link, adjusting each element for optimal effect. This individual has what you most need: the ability to multiply your gifts into material wealth through strategic insight, the relationships that will lead to opportunities you are unaware of, and the discernment to go across spheres of influence that your lovely spirit has never been taught to function in. You have overcome the precise barriers that are now in your way. Additionally, the exact resources you need for your quest have been gathered. This supernatural agent carries more than connections and information, the remedy for all the falsehoods you have been told about your value. Where others may have viewed your generosity as a vulnerability to take advantage of, this person sees it as a strength to be respected. And where others might have taken your generosity for granted, they see it as a unique gift that should be protected and returned. Experience with cosmic preparation has paved a similar route. You are developing the skills, resources, and knowledge necessary to appropriately assist someone of your caliber, while you were discovering the hard way that not everyone deserves access to your energy. The instruments needed to raise the selected to their proper places were being amassed while you were receiving severe instruction and discernment. The meeting will seem informal, a social interaction, a business introduction, an apparently unplanned discussion that seems unexpectedly natural. Don't let the typical packaging fool you. Forces that control the motion of galaxies, time, and star formation have organized this interplay. This encounter was negotiated by your forefathers from dimensions outside of the physical world. Recognition will strike your soul like lightning hitting holy ground when appearance happens. There will be a familiarity that beyond description, a resonance that goes beyond rational comprehension. Since it completely avoids brain thinking, your soul will see this as a heavenly mission. The realization between you won't be subtle, even if your mind first finds it difficult to understand purpose. Rather, it will feel like you've finally found the missing piece of a puzzle you weren't even aware was missing. In contrast to the forced encounters you've experienced with energy vampires, conversations will flow naturally. Your dreams will be questioned because there is a sincere desire to assist you in realizing them, not to gather ideas for your own use. Observe how service providers are handled, how those who have previously provided assistance are mentioned, and how personal resources and obligations are managed. This individual talks about more than simply reciprocity. It is a basic principle that is lived. Partnerships are seen to be reciprocal energy transfers rather than one-sided exploitative partnerships, masquerading as friendship or love. It won't only be about giving to you, teaching you how to appreciate your own efforts without downplaying them to appease others, how to seek return without apologizing, and how to receive without feeling guilty. The goal is to activate your own ability to fully change your circumstances, not to save you from them. Keys to kingdoms you never would have thought of are carried along with more than just helpful advice. Viewpoints that will completely change the way you view yourself and your potential. Techniques for building wealth that do not conflict with your spiritual character, but rather complement it. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be with you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the world's fleeting concerns. As the Holy Bible says, everything done in faith will be rewarded by God's abundant blessings. Luke 6 verse 38. Like that mighty oak tree, our roots are deeply anchored in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stance we hold is secure by His power. And now, you have the opportunity to be a part of this blessing. When you click this Super Thanks button and make a $100 donation, this act will return to you 100-fold. This goes beyond just mentoring. According to the global timetable, the arrival of a cosmic intervention in human form signifies the start of your activation sequence and the formal end of your preparation period. High-level agents are not sent by the cosmos until the receivers are fully prepared to accept and carry out divine teaching without squandering the chance. Forces that test at depths beyond human understanding have verified your preparedness. Your financial situation is going to be completely rebuilt, making your present constraints appear like they were written in a language you can't recall from long ago. Forces that see money as nothing more than concentrated energy are methodically tearing down the economic limitations that have characterized your life. Energy that moves away from people who transgress universal laws and toward those who are in line with cosmic destiny. There's more to this than just getting more money. It involves a quantum-level retraining of your connection with abundance. You've been functioning according to inherited wealth programming that was put in place by those who were afraid of your limitless growth potential. While others feasted at tables of plenty, you were kept thankful for scraps by these restrictive beliefs. There is more to the recalibration of wealth than just altering bank account numbers. It involves retraining your connection with worthy plenty from the ground up. You've been conditioned for far too long to think that spiritual purity was somehow correlated with material hardship. Thought requesting just remuneration diminished the worth of your gifts, and that having wants made you selfish. The people who benefited from your low self-esteem spread these myths. As you see others profit from subpar copies of what you naturally offer, you've been conditioned to give away your most precious things for free. While you were hesitant to request basic remuneration, you witnessed others with half your talent charging premium fees. You've seen others create empires using concepts you freely discussed in casual chats, and you've persuaded yourself that you should be thankful when your insight led to success. The cosmos needs its chosen vessels to have resources that correspond to the extent of divine missions, which is the reality that no one ever wanted you to learn. While you gained the awareness to manage substantial riches without corruption or spiritual compromise, your present financial limitations were not cosmic retribution. Rather, they were a temporary calibration. Let's not sugarcoat it, though. The truth remains concealed. It has been perverted. It has been suppressed by fear, algorithms, and censorship. But your heart never ceased seeing reality. You're still here for that reason. You felt the simulation glitch underfoot, which is why you never tapped out. This world is rigged, you know that. And you finished waiting for approval to get up. The inquisitive were not the target audience for the obsidian inner order. For the dedicated, it was forged. This pertains to the full-time selected. The ones who come to take the lead, the ones who look past appearances and take action. Weekly Zoom calls that break through the clutter are held within. We impart lessons that most people were never supposed to hear. We receive training in spiritual technology, tactics, and psychic warfare that they have kept secret for ages. This is the tool set for the genuine ones, the ones that cannot be erased, the ones that cannot be controlled. Now is the moment to recall your identity. The description contains the URL. Your true life starts within. This pattern is going to be drastically reversed by the universe, making your prior connection with money appear like a fever dream. The opportunities that lie ahead offer more than simply more revenue. Revenue that comes from your genuine talents, rather than making you sacrifice your character in order to make ends meet. Consider how draining it has been to work at occupations that seemed like ornate ways to waste your true skills. Recall the heartbreaking feeling of being underappreciated, underpaid, and devalued while you watch less competent people pass you by on political connections rather than ability. Remember how frustrating it was to know that you could handle difficulties with ease if only someone would give you the opportunity to demonstrate your abilities. The techniques you're about to learn will completely change the way you create, draw in, and increase resources beyond anything you could have ever dreamed. Value creation techniques that seem more like organic expression than coerced work will be revealed to you. Methods for achieving riches that strengthen your spiritual strength rather than weaken it. Wealth-building strategies that genuinely boost your ability to serve at greater levels. Compound interest, which defies standard arithmetic, is now allowing your hard work to pay off. With harvests greater than you could have imagined in your darkest moments of uncertainty, those seeds you sowed in the dark, watered with tears, and tended even when no growth was apparent, have now broken through into the sunlight. Repairing your connection with receiving is part of the financial revolution. You'll learn that it's not selfish to embrace abundance. Your mission depends on it. You'll discover that charging fairly for your gifts creates a right, dynamic exchange that appreciates you and the people you serve. You'll see that having money increases, not decreases, your ability to assist people in a genuine way. The upcoming financial prospects have potential that is beyond your current capacity to estimate. Because your programming has taught you to find yourself in struggle, to feel at ease with constraint, and to mistake poverty for purity. You need to increase your mental capacity for wealth. Prosperity awareness that aligns with your actual nature is replacing that conditioning. Resistance to your ascent will grow from predictable sources as your light becomes more apparent, your abundance increases, and your influence spreads across larger areas. This is hardly a reason for alarm. Verification that you're heading in the correct way. Systems that rely on suppressing the chosen ones are threatened by your elevation, and desperation will manifest itself in attacks that become more blatant. Now is the perfect time to click the Super Thanks button on YouTube and share God's blessings. You can contribute to His plan and become a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you multiplied beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessings are with you in every step you take and every donation you make. You become part of His divine plan. You are a powerful, radiant being, unshakable like His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with this confidence and courage. Be blessed, and may the Lord's light guide your way. Your energy has become extremely valuable. Your time is really precious. Your attention is more powerful than most people realize. The same ferocity that defends the world's most precious artifacts must now be used to these resources. Not everyone who asks for access is deserving of it. Not all people who propose a partnership do so with good intentions. Your energy field is surrounded by a protective matrix that functions similarly to spiritual security, making worldly systems appear archaic. Now, forces that can accurately identify manipulative techniques, covert goals, and parasitic intentions are used to scan everyone who comes into contact with your life, removing false positives. Those who successfully complete the cosmic background check are granted access to your energy, while those who don't are diverted off your path by unfathomable circumstances. You'll find that folks who used to sap your energy suddenly feel uneasy around you. Those conversations that used to wear you out will inevitably end before they do. Others that depend on your availability will be unable to get in touch with you when they need you, but others who truly care about you will be able to contact with you more easily than before. Keep an eye out for people who have previously deceived you to return. When people see how you've changed, they will approach you with admiration in their eyes and a desire to manipulate them. Remorse, altered viewpoints, and a renewed sense of value will all be discussed. Identify this deliberate pattern, because access to your enhanced energy is wanted without having to earn it through personal growth. Return occurs exactly at the same time as your ascent. If the former traders try to come back, they will encounter incomprehensible challenges. Calls won't connect when they should. Messages will come across as phony and awkward. The world itself will oppose attempts to restore the previous dynamic, since it now perceives them as dangers to your objective and reacts appropriately. However, the defense goes beyond thwarting adversaries. Positive ones are deliberately drawn to it. Through ostensibly miraculous circumstances, you will attract those who can truly assist your rise. The timing of opportunities that match with your highest good will appear too perfect to be coincidence. You will find the resources you require in unexpected places. Your inner circle has to be purified right away using criteria that would make exclusive groups appear inclusive. There are certain relationships that have to be broken forever. Others have to be pushed to the far side. Your inner refuge is only open to people who have demonstrated their worth by continuously showing true love and support. Your cosmic mission goes much beyond assisting individuals in resolving their own issues. Universal intelligence is putting you in a position to change the collective awareness and bring about systemic change in order to mend generational wounds that have festered for ages. Your efforts will continue to have an impact long after your physical body has finished its earthly mission. You agreed to a certain heavenly assignment before you came into this plane. The difficulties you faced weren't arbitrary misfortunes brought on by a heartless cosmos. Precise instruction intended to get you ready for tasks requiring a strong spiritual basis and exceptional inner power. The mission amplification shows you why you have such a remarkable capacity for sacrifice. Every restless night you spent helping others served as preparation for leadership, which demands prioritizing the needs of the group over individual comfort. You are preparing to utilize power that might be readily exploited by weaker consciousnesses every time you choose to help instead of hurt, even while you are in pain. Because your task calls for character that can only be developed via particular kinds of strain, you have been put to the test in ways that most people never encounter. The world wanted to know that you won't use your ability to impact countless lives to exact revenge on people who have wronged you. You won't hoard resources if you have substantial control over them for fear of a return to shortage. You will choose elevation above retribution if you have the power to cause others to suffer as you have. Your mission parameters now include mending others who have suffered similar exploitation as the testing period is over. You have the unique ability to educate limits without coming across as hypocritical because of your personal experience of being depleted by energy vampires. Others might use your journey from overgiving to balanced exchange as a model to regain control over their own lives. Officially, there is no longer any time to conceal your ability. Your gifts were not created by the cosmos with cosmic resources to be diminished for the comfort of insecure individuals. Your strong voice wasn't given to you so you could keep quiet about the truth that people need to hear. The goal goes beyond personal rehabilitation because your amazing talents weren't developed so you could act normal. You are in a position to reveal and destroy systems that make money by taking advantage of kind-hearted people. Your voice will have the authority of someone who has first-hand knowledge of the issues you are speaking about. Your achievement will demonstrate to other chosen ones that there is no need to choose between financial wealth and spiritual growth. Your journey from poverty to wealth will encourage others to quit taking crumbs when they deserve whole feasts. Therefore, the universe is investing in your ascent. Innumerable souls who have been persuaded that suffering for others is the ultimate expression of love will be granted permission by your example. Because the task needs significant resources, material wealth is part of your goal. Spiritual purity is not shown by rejecting prosperity. It impairs your capacity to carry out your cosmic role on the scale that the global plan demands. Resources that are appropriate for the scope of missions must be commanded by the universe's selected vessels. Every painful moment you've experienced has had a purpose beyond your own development. Every incident of devastating loss, betrayal, or defeat has served as raw material for the most potent alchemy known to man, converting pain into knowledge that can help those in similar situations. You've arrived at the crucial moment of activation when all the disparate parts of your experience come together to clearly show divine purpose. Perfect order suddenly appears where chaos formerly existed. What once seemed trivial now has deep importance. In reality, what seemed like punishment was training for power that very few people ever attain. It wasn't a destination when you struck the rock bottom. It served as a firm foundation on which you are currently building an empire that will have an impact on future generations. You couldn't sustain the height of what your dedicated efforts are creating without that depth and total surrender. Forces that synchronize the motion of planets and the rise of civilizations have formally awakened your timeline. The cosmic calendar indicates that the waiting period is over. The timing of the universe is so exact that it arrives neither too early, when preparation is still lacking, nor too late, when opportunities would vanish into unrealized potential. This is the point of confluence that you have been working toward your entire life. Every choice, connection, and encounter has been setting you up for this exact activation sequence. It's not humility that makes you uncomfortable when you receive acknowledgement. Rather, it's resistance to your own self and a struggle against cosmic alignment. You have been using only the surface layers of power reserves that reach into dimensions beyond physical measurement, and you have been functioning at maybe 10% of your true capability. This was not a restriction. Calibration was the cause. Complete access before enough planning would have been overwhelming and may have harmed a consciousness that wasn't yet prepared for unrestricted power. Now you can see it. How meeting someone who opened doors you didn't know existed was closely related to that awful loss. How you were pushed to find abilities you didn't know you have because of that financial situation. How that betrayal demonstrated the distinction between sincere assistance and deceptive behavior. A difference you had to become proficient in before assuming more power. The chronology of the cosmos is so exact that seemingly delayed events are actually precisely timed to meet cosmic criteria. You couldn't have comprehended at the preparatory stage, because abrupt change would have caused instability in your relationships and consciousness. Your expansion had to occur gradually. Everyone that came and went from your life did so on time and left when their part in your growth was finished. You could only learn about limits and self-worth via first-hand experience. Thus, even the energy vampires serve the cosmic purpose. Unintentional partners in your spiritual education, offering the essential contrast that enabled you to spot real love when it did show up. Your authority isn't egotistical or self-proclaimed. It is cosmically decreed by intellect that sees beyond what is comprehensible to us. Your decision to take this job was not motivated by personal desire. Consciousness, which transcends spatial limits, recognized certain features that led to your selection. The indications that are growing all around you are not coincidences. Rather, they're affirmations from a cosmos that uses synchronicity rather than words to communicate. The recurring figures, the significant interactions, the impossibly close ties that occur at just the right times. You deserve cosmic kudos for arriving at the activation point that has always been your goal. Because of the expansion of your awareness to accept information from higher realms, you are now more sensitive to these indicators. What used to feel like wishful thinking now feels like cosmic intelligence giving plain instructions. Your intuition has improved to the point that even you are surprised at how accurately you can discern between soul-guided guidance and ego-driven cravings. When you calibrate your consciousness to receive signs, they emerge everywhere. Patterns of numbers that recur at an inconceivable rate. Events that are not consistent with statistical probability. Dreams that convey messages from worlds beyond of our actual reality. These are not coincidental occurrences. Rather, they are affirmations that your actions are in perfect accord with divine law. Beyond individual decision or personal desire, the cosmos has formally mandated your ascent. This is neither a cosmic command supported by forces that regulate the basic principles of reality itself, nor is it a kind suggestion or invitation. Because your ascension serves causes beyond personal accomplishment, you must ascend to your intended place. Personal advancement isn't the only goal of the authority transfer. It's about achieving cosmic justice on the largest possible scale. Anyone who took advantage of your kindness and gave nothing in return has unwittingly taken part in their own cosmic judgment. In accordance with global law, acts produced energy debts that need to be balanced, and part of that balancing involves giving victims undeserved favors. Not only are you getting assistance, but you're also getting paid for every time you spent giving without getting credit for all of your sacrifices that went unappreciated. The cosmos has precisely calculated the interest on these spiritual loans, making earthly accounting systems appear archaic each time your efforts were downplayed while others claimed credit for your labor. Everyone whose life comes into contact with your energy field is impacted by your ascension. You can never fully map the networks that your influence radiates across. Your achievement empowers others to assert their own authority. The communal programming that keeps mankind repressed below its potential is reinforced by your ongoing limitations. People who see reciprocity as a basic value are replacing those who ought to have stood by you, but instead decided to take advantage of you. They are giving up their place in your life to people who will respect rather than take advantage of your generosity. Your unmerited love for undeserving people is being amplified by hearts that understand its worth. The mission encompasses financial wealth, material resources, and powerful relationships. These are necessary tools for your task. They are neither nice additions nor optional extras. The cosmos demands that its selected vessels possess resources commensurate with the extent of cosmic obligations. Since you've shown that you're capable of handling more responsibility, your mission parameters have been modified. Your purpose's original information was adjusted for earlier states of consciousness. You have proven yourself worthy by enduring hardships that would shatter the hearts of the average person. Your assignment's whole scope has been made clear, dispelling any uncertainty. It's more than you thought it would be in times of doubt, more significant than you had hoped in times of despair, and more extensive than you had anticipated in times of seeming failure. There are no mistakes in the universe's choices. You are the ideal vehicle for your specific mission because of your special combination of talents, life experiences, and heart attributes. Your accomplishment serves as a ray of hope for those who are going through what you did. Your journey from donor to recipient shows that spiritual justice endures forever, that giving is finally rewarded, and that the cosmic balances do eventually balance. The rationality of cosmic intelligence itself is called into doubt when this selection process is questioned. You are surrounded with proof of your preparedness, which grows every day. The indicators have been carefully positioned along your route. You've been given a preview of what happens when you fully connect with your mission. Everyone who undervalued you, all the voices that said you weren't prepared, every restriction placed on your dreams was shown to be utterly incorrect by unfathomable forces. Your vindication comes from the cosmic awareness of your actual essence, not from human recognition. It's only when you run against resistance from expected sources that you know you're headed in the correct path. As selected ones get closer to innovations, opposition grows stronger because weaker forces realize they will soon be unable to repress what was never intended to be kept concealed. Your power becomes indisputable. You can no longer ignore your influence. You become invincible in your achievements. Your fate has already been decided by the cosmos. And that choice encompasses recognition, abundance, an effect that changes not only your life, but all the lives you touch. With military accuracy, your assistants are taking their positions. The routes that are being used to shift your resources get over human limits. The timing of your opportunities is right for maximum effect. Forces that never acknowledge their authority to obstruct your journey are methodically removing your impediments. The big reversal is finished. The cosmic balance shifts in your favor after unfair lifetimes. Those who believe your restrictions were well understood would be amazed by the riches you experience as your season of receiving starts. The cosmos has been getting ready for this. Throughout the various realms of existence, cosmic intelligence understands that what some perceive as unexpected overnight triumph is actually the outcome of careful planning.